Here we have the Lenovo IdeaCentre 3 24-inch all-in-one. Now our Lenovo IdeaCentre video, or one of our original ones, was actually one of our most viewed videos. People really seem to gravitate toward the Lenovo IdeaCentre computer. Now there's a lot of reasons for that. Basically, it's a generally well-priced machine with some decent features and it's built pretty well. But this is the latest version of the Lenovo IdeaCentre 3. And what we want to find out today is if this computer is still a competitive machine in the market, and if you should buy one yourself. Let's get some specs out of the way really quick. It has the Ryzen 5 5500H CPU. It has 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, which is upgradable. It also has a 512 gigabyte NVMe solid state drive, which is also upgradable. It's one of the few computers to still come with a DVD drive on the side. So if we click on the little button here, out pops a little tray there. And let's just go and shove that back in because who gives a crap about DVDs anymore? And it has a 24-inch non-touch full high definition screen, and all that's wrapped up with Radeon Graphics, basically giving you a very powerful productivity computer. Now benchmarks on this thing are okay. It comes, here let's go ahead and pop up some Nova Bench action here. It comes with a 1737 Nova Bench score. That's a 1221 with the CPU, a 44 with the GPU, 270 with memory, and storage is 202. Now what that roughly translates to is that this computer is not really a gaming machine, but it is really good for productivity work. Basically something that you need to do like a ton of Firefox or Chrome tabs, email, internet, Excel, that kind of thing. And you're gonna be able to play Minecraft and maybe like Roblox and stuff like that, but you're definitely not going to be able to shoot out any kind of like RDR2 on high settings, or for that matter, Grand Theft Auto.
You'll be all right.
No, this is not a gaming computer, and for that matter, I wouldn't even say that it is a video editing computer or an audio editing computer. But that said, this computer really is kind of just tailor-made for somebody that just needs a simple basic machine that sits atop their desk and just sort of does your general web browsing and email type stuff with the occasional Word and Excel document. As a result, we give the specs of this computer a 4 out of 5. For the price bracket, it is decent. These things start at about 500 bucks and work their way up. This one is priced at about $629 as configured. So, good, not great. But let's talk about the LCD screen, which also gets a 4 out of 5. 24-inch, non-touch, full high definition, in-plane switching display. Basically, it's got some really great colors. It's non-glare, it's bright, about 300 nits brightness, so that means that you could definitely have this thing underneath some very heavy office lighting, or even next to a window with direct sunlight. And all in all, the colors are just incredibly vibrant. There's a lot of true whites, a lot of deep blacks, and not a whole lot of backlight bleed, which is pretty nice too. So the panel definitely deserves its 4 out of 5, even though it doesn't have any fancy features like HDR or touchscreen or anything like that. But you do just get a good quality, crisp panel. And honestly, these days, you can't really ask for more, considering some manufacturers are really erring on the cheap side. But the speakers is where this thing takes a massive blow. They are advertised to be Harmon Kardon, and of course they are trash. They get a 2 out of 5 rating. They do have some fairly decent highs and some okay mids and some very good lows. But they don't get very loud, they do distort, and I don't know, like for like an almost $700 computer and it being 2023, I just kind of feel like the speakers and and the fact that you advertise that they're Harmon Kardon, they just should be better quality than this. If you didn't give me a Harmon Kardon badge on this thing, I'd probably say they were like a 3 out of 5. But because you advertise that they were good and they stink, well, now you get a 2 out of 5, Lenovo. Shame on you. But that said, you do have a TRRR S-Jack at the bottom, so if you need to plug in a set of headphones or external speakers, you certainly could, just to get that sort of higher quality fidelity audio. Now, as far as features are concerned, this thing is a 4 out of 5. Comes with Wi-Fi 6, comes with Bluetooth, comes with a decent webcam that kind of pops up at the top, so when you don't want to use it, you can just shove it back down. Here's what that footage looks like now. This is a test of the camera on the Lenovo IdeaCentre 3 all-in-one. It's a little washed out, a little fuzzy. It will do fine on a Zoom meeting, but honestly, it's getting to the point where manufacturers really should be putting better cameras in the computers. It does come with a wireless keyboard and mouse, which we were pleasantly surprised with. But also on the bottom, there is a little tray. I'm gonna show it in some B-roll, but basically there's a little spot right here that you can open up and you can put in an additional 2.5-inch drive. And we think that that is a really nice touch. Basically, that prevents you from having to pop open the cover to add some additional storage if you want to. Now, why that is so nice and why we would maybe recommend this then for Photoshop users is because the display is so colorful and crisp, and because you can put some additional storage on this thing with fairly little problem. That will allow you to have, like, let's say a Plex library, or have, let's say, like a lot of Photoshop raw files, this kind of thing, which will allow you to just kind of fill this thing up as a general editing machine. And that is honestly what this thing is for. It is powerful enough as far as the CPU and the RAM are concerned to be able to knock out things like Photoshop effects. So all in all, if you are a photographer that doesn't edit on site, I think that you will find yourself at home with this machine. Build quality is about like between a 3 to a 4 out of 5. The plastics are like decent quality. All in all, they're sort of tough and they should last a while, especially since this thing is just going to be kind of sitting on the desk. The spring in the camera is definitely very firm. It's not as kind of thin of a profile as it could have been, especially considering the fact that, like, it doesn't have a whole lot going on. The bottom tray here does not have a wireless phone charger in it like some of the previous models did. So yeah, I mean, it's good build quality, not great build quality. For those that are curious, the screen can only move, it can only tilt like this. Let's see if I can kind of get a better angle on how much that does that here. So it goes, that's about as far as it goes. That's about as far as it goes. Contrary to unpopular belief, it cannot move up and down. That is not in other words, the screen cannot go up and down like this. That is not a common feature for all-in-one. So for those that need that, you're gonna have to put a book or something underneath the stand. But I/O on this thing is really where it takes a big hit. We give it a 2 out of 5. There is no USB-C ports to speak of, and you only have 2 USB 3.2 super speed ports on there. So you only have USB Type A, which is already a big blow for like video and audio editors. If you're using any kind of modern switches or microphones or anything like that, there's no USB-C, and you don't have the super fast USB capabilities to work with data storage either. So that means that any kind of video editing you do would either have to be done on the onboard storage, or you're just kind of SOL. But that said, you do have gigabit Ethernet, and you also have throughput HDMI, at least on this specific model, meaning that you could plug like a PlayStation into it and use it as a screen. So I don't know, input they really could have done to put either a USB-C port or give you 4 USB super speed ports. There's also no camera card port on here. I really would have rather have seen like an SD card on here instead of a stupid DVD drive that almost nobody uses. And again, you could have used a USB DVD drive if you absolutely had to. So yeah, Lenovo kind of bit the bullet on that one, and I think that the 2 out of 5 rating is definitely warranted. So who is this machine for? Well, as we discussed, if you are a video editor, you're probably not gonna want this machine. If you are a gamer, like a big heavy gamer, also probably not gonna want this computer. If you are an audio editor, also probably not gonna want this computer. Photoshop users, Plex servers, people that just need like a little family computer that sits on their desk for like office and schoolwork, that's who this thing is for. Is it worth $629? And ultimately, I actually think it is. It does get a total rating of about 3.16 out of 5. You know, that's a B, basically. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, is it the best computer ever made? No, but it's better than some of the alternatives out there. It certainly beats most of the HPs. And if you just kind of need a cheap all-in-one machine to just sort of do its thing, and you need like a nice display to work with, then frankly, there's not a whole lot of better options out there. So yes, we do recommend the Lenovo IdeaCentre 3 all-in-one. We think that if you buy one, you would be overall pretty happy with it. You just need to know what you're getting into. But ultimately, it's not a bad machine at all. If you have any questions about the Lenovo IdeaCentre 3 all-in-one, please feel free to reach out to us in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. And if you intend to buy one of these things, please do so with the affiliate link in the description. That does help this channel out a lot. And we will be back with another video really soon.